If you could take us through the real basic principles, idiot's guide to how to design a submarine, that would be really
Because they would have
handy.
stayed the same over 300 years, the concepts.
Most of the concepts are the same, that's
Right.
true. We just have different technology these days. You need to define exactly what you want your submarine to do. You know,
Go down and go along.
Okay, but it's not got to go across an ocean.
And come up again.
On the Thames.
We want it to come
And
up.
come
right
up.
at
Oh,
the
yeah,
end.
we want it to come up.
Yeah, so actually what you're saying is going down, you've got to be able to control it.
Modern submarines are controlled by flooding long ballast tanks with water to enable them to sink. Then compressed air flushes the water out again to allow the submarine to rise.
And what you want to get to is the point where it's sitting in the water column, and that's from the surface down to the bottom, at a particular depth, and will stay there. I mean, I'm not clear how you're going to have ballast tanks anyway, because you have no compressed air.
The problems are mounting up, and the team aren't allowed to use modern technology to make life easier. Drebel left no designs to give them any clues, so they don't even know what a 17th century submarine would look like. Enter historic boat builder Mark Edwards. Mark makes boats using techniques developed by the Vikings over 1,000 years ago, but he's never built a submarine.
How would somebody go about trying to reconstruct something like that?
Well, almost certainly he walked into a boat building yard. We know it was definitely rowed, so he probably started with boats of the time that were rowed, possibly of this size, in fact.
Can I just talk to you about the oars for a second? Now, in the submarine, if it was rowed, I presume we make a hole in the side and put the oars through that.
You basically just drill a hole through the side of the vessel, and if they're too near the water, as they were in sort of Greek trimarines, they'd have a leather gasket or leather boot or shoe to stop the water coming in.
But if we had the hole all the way up here
Yep.
and a hole here, isn't the water just going to come pouring in, even if it's got leather on the outside of it?
Well, we've got to get that right again.
We
yes.
have. Looking at Mark's boat, it's a very beautiful boat. One thing I have learned today actually is that I think as we build this submarine, instead of it just being a sort of academic exercise, we're going to be very, very fond of it by the time we finish. And I bloody well don't want it to sink to the bottom and just implode and end up as a load of matchwood.
It can take 10 years to design and build a modern submarine. Our team have just 20 weeks. If they're going to hit their deadline, they have to start designing.
Well, so I guess we're here to design a submarine.
How big do we think we might want to make our submarine, as a rough guess?
One of the things that we have to worry about is that as it goes down, the pressure increases, which means that the submarine is going to tend to actually get smaller as it goes down.
What about getting out in an emergency?
It did occur to me that our hatchway may well jam. What are we going to do in that case? They just died for England.
We discussed the oars yet? Propulsion, yes.
I think we've got this issue with the oar holes as well, haven't we, with the sleeves?
The oar comes out through the side of the submarine, and we tie it very, very tight round there, and the oar can still go backwards and forwards.
We haven't talked about the breathing yet, but if all these people are exerting lots of energy and they're getting...
After 6 hours, the team has got a basic design for a two-man submarine.
So there's so much information to take in. I mean, it's exhausting. Which is probably why we look completely knackered.
No, I mean, too many holes. As far as I'm concerned, it's going to leak like a sieve.
One of the things we should do is take some of our individual conceptual designs and turn them into, real prototypes, and then test those real prototypes to see how they hold up.
The team decides to test a section of hull with an oar hole. Now the hunt is on for historically correct materials for the job. Mark needs oak for the hull, Caroline leather for the oar hole covers, waterproofed with fish oils and tallow as it was in the 17th century.
Right then, now we're gonna...
You're pretty convinced that's going to seal it?
Yeah, I think so, but it works with boots.
They don't have to go so far underwater.
Well, no, that's true.
Wow, it's not very good, is it? A woodworm.
That's our gator.
I don't think so.
Right then, what we're going to do with this is just whip this hog.
What sort of money are we talking now for these? About £18 a cube then, that way.
No way.
Is that actually going to work?
Well, we won't know really until we try it.
It's going to add up to a very large sum, and I'm not sure whether we're going to be able to do it really in this oak. It's massive, absolutely massive amount.
3 weeks later, and the section of hull is ready to be tested. If it fails, it's back to the drawing board, and the team may not finish the sub in time. Mark has used oak for the ribs of the hull, but Caroline has just found out he's made the planking out of modern plywood. She's not happy.
We've been through all this before, that the material itself is as crucial a part of the whole design, the actual choice of the wood. So I'm happy that we choose something if the compromise is adequate.
If I just made this out of freshly sawn oak, all nailed together, and we're out in the sun at the moment, I'd be waiting for something to happen, possibly a little split.
Okay, fair enough. I just think it's important to point out that, you know, unless we actually try it exactly as it would have been, then we're making a compromise.
The question is whether that's an acceptable compromise or not.
Yeah.
Is the strength of this material about the same as it would be for the other materials we might
I
have
would say
used?
so, yes. Solid oak and solid mahogany, or mahogany ply as this is roughly the same strength.
The team is about to discover whether the plywood and leather gaiter can withstand the weight of 10 tons of water pushing against them.
Got to take our way.
The panel fits into the side of a tank. Coming out of the top of the tank is a pipe 10 metres high. Once the tank and the pipe are filled with water, the pressure on the panel is the same as if it were under 10 metres of water. Ed has put a can inside the tank, which will be crushed as the pressure mounts.
Starting to leak around the frame.
The olive oil can's crushing, just like it did inside the hyperbaric chamber.
We've got a leak. Where can you see where it's coming from? Whether the seal or the seam or the leather? Can you see?
But yeah, somewhere right around the oar hole.
What happens if we move the pull the oar backwards and forwards? See what happens.
Yeah, look on the Okay.
It's pouring in, yeah.
Looks like the leather.
It's pouring in through.
It's the leather itself.
Can you see where it's being forced? The leather's being forced into that slot.
Yes.
It looks as though that's where. I think it may just be going straight through the leather under that sort of pressure.
Yeah.
I reckon the hull's fantastic. I honestly think Mark should be congratulated. But we got a problem with the leather seal.
Leaks like this could spell disaster. On top of that, the whole project is thrown into jeopardy by 21st century health and safety regulations.